Hi, this is Ann with Finance on the Offense, and today I'm going to tell you all about something called a backdoor Roth IRA. I'll give you a brief overview and then we'll dive into the details. And towards the end, I will tell you all about things that you absolutely need to know before doing a backdoor Roth. All right, let's get started. Okay, so what is a backdoor Roth exactly? Well, it's when you contribute to a traditional IRA and then you turn around and convert it to a Roth IRA pretty much immediately. The reason you would want to do a backdoor Roth is if you make too much money to contribute to a Roth normally. Just as a reminder, here are the differences between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. With a traditional IRA, you don't pay any taxes when you put the money in. In essence, you get to write this amount off your taxes. But when you get it out at retirement age, you pay taxes on the original amount plus the growth, and that can be a lot in taxes. The income limits on a deductible traditional IRA are much lower than those of a Roth IRA. So if you're single with a modified adjusted gross income of $66,000 or less, or filing jointly with income of up to $105,000, you can deduct your full contribution for the 2021 tax year. But if you're looking at doing a backdoor Roth IRA, you'll most likely be contributing to and then converting a non-deductible traditional IRA. You can only put a certain amount in each year. In 2021, that max amount is $6,000. If you're age 50 or over, it's $7,000. If you're doing a non-deductible traditional IRA, you can contribute at any income level. With a Roth IRA, you do pay taxes on the money when you put it in, and that means you aren't going to pay taxes when you take it out, so you won't get taxed on the growth, and that's why people really love them. With Roth IRAs, the limit is the same, but there are income limits. So in 2021, if your modified adjusted gross income is over $140,000 if you're single, or $208,000 if you're married filing jointly, you actually cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. And that's why the backdoor Roth IRA exists. It's sort of a workaround and it's totally legal. The IRS is totally okay with doing this. As I said before, if you make too much money to put anything into a Roth IRA, you can do this backdoor Roth by funding a traditional non-deductible IRA and then converting that to a Roth. So there are 4 steps for doing this. First, you'll want to set up a traditional IRA account if you don't already have one. Next, you'll put $6,000 or less, $7,000 if you're over age 50, into that account. Now, this is the max for the whole year, so if you've already put some in there, make sure you're not going over that maximum. The third step is to set up a Roth IRA account if you don't already have one. And then the fourth step is to transfer the money from your traditional to your Roth IRA. If you have an account with Schwab, Fidelity, or Vanguard, all 3 of them are very helpful with this process. So you'll want to reach out to them if you've never done it before to make sure you're not going to get hit with penalties or something like that. Just make sure you're doing it right. Now, there are a few things to watch out for if you're looking at doing a backdoor Roth. First up is the pro rata rule, and this is actually a pretty big deal. Basically, when you convert a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, the IRS requires that you report all of your traditional IRAs. So that is SEP IRA, any rollover traditional IRAs from an old 401k or anything like that, to figure out what you're going to owe for taxes. So all of that is pre-tax money, and so it's already been written off your taxes. And they sort of mix that amount with the amount that you just contributed, which has not been written off your taxes yet, and then tax you based on a percentage. And I don't fully understand exactly how that works, but it's definitely more of a tax hit than you should be getting. So the workaround for this is before you decide to do a backdoor Roth, you need to have already converted all your SEP IRAs, traditional IRAs, or rollover IRAs to Roth IRAs. Of course, doing that is going to create a pretty big tax bill come next tax time, but I would not do a backdoor Roth without doing that first. The second thing you need to know is that once you make your deposit into the traditional IRA, you need to immediately convert it to a Roth IRA. And the reason for that is if you wait 6 months or something and you've made a lot of gains, you'll have to pay taxes on that, and it could cause kind of a complicated tax situation for you. So you want to just do it as soon as the funds are available to convert, if that makes sense. All right, I hope this video has helped you. If you like it and you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. Thank you.